Today we are taking a little detour from the grand style of public architecture we've been studying to look at the residential architecture in the United States. Since this is something we could all identify with, I think it will help us to see the relationship between the function of the structure and its style or form. This has been an ongoing theme in our discussion, and we will be getting back to it in just a moment. But before we get started, I want you to take a moment to think. Does anyone know what the single most popular style for a house in the United States is today? Bob? I bet it's a ranch house style house. Well, in this area, probably. But aren't we typical? Yes, so. How about the kind of house my grandparents live in? They call it Cape Cod. That's the one. Here is a drawing of what we consider of a classic Cape Cod house. These days, you see this style all over the United States, but it first showed up in U.S. Northeast, in the New England region, around the late 1600s. For those of you who don't know the Northeast Coast region, Cape Cod is a peninsula, a narrow strip of land that jets out into the Atlantic. And so many houses in this particular style were built on Cape Cod. Thus, the name of the place became the name of the style. Now, why did the Cape Cod style house become so popular in the Northeast? Well, one reason is that it's a great example of a form following a function. Now, we've talked about this design principle a lot about the form following function. And what did we say it meant? Someone give me an application of this principle. What is this concept that the form should follow function? How will it be applied to housing design? Well, it means the design of the building it should be based on the needs of the people who use it. Then, well, the architect has to be very practical to think about the people who actually be living in the house or working in the office building, wherever. So for the architect, it's all about the user. It's not all about showing off how creative you can be. Good. Of course, for a cave cone house, it might be even more accurate to say that for also following a climate. Who knows the climate is like on Cape Cod? Cold in winter. And whenever I visit my grandparents, it's really wet. It's usually either raining or snowing or foggy and windy too. I guess because it's so exposed to the ocean. That's right. So take another look at this drawing and you can imagine how this design might be particularly helpful in that kind of climate. Notice how the house is very low to the ground. This relatively low, compact structure helps the house withstand the strong wind blowing off the ocean. And look at the slope of the roof. The steep angle helps keep off all that rain and snow that accumulates in the winter. Another thing, a Cape Cod house usually face south to take advantage of all the foam through the windows. That's helpful in the winter. Now, what can you tell me about the chimney? About its location? Well, it's in the middle because does it have something to do with heating the houses? I mean, since the heat never has to travel very far, that means you can heat the house more efficiently, right? Exactly. Now, see how the house has very little exterior decoration. That's also typical of our Cape Cod houses. The wind was one reason nothing is sticking out might blow away in the harsh weather. But there was probably another reason, not related to the climate, more reflection of rural New England society back then. You see, Cape Cod houses were not built in the big cities where all the rich people lived back then. These were modest dwellings that people who built them simply couldn't afford lots of expensive decorative details. But that was more than just a matter of money. In these rural areas, people depended on each other for survival. Neighbors had to help and supported each other in the difficult environments, so you didn't want to appear to be showing off. You wanted to avoid anything that might set you apart from your neighbors and the same people you might need to help you someday. So all these help to create an attitude of conformity in the community. And you can see why a modest, a very plain style would become so widely imitated throughout rural New England. It is plain, but you know it's nice looking. Good point. And in fact, it's precisely that the aesthetic appeal, the purity, the nearly perfect proportion of the house. That's another reason for the Cape Cod enduring popularity. Even in the places where the climate was so mild, its functional design does matter.